Alright guys, man, I was gonna wait for the Adesanya versus Dricus Duplessis pay-per-view, but I thought why not let our first fight night review be Sergei Spivak versus Tybura. Now guys, this fight card was absolute dog shit. I'm gonna start off by saying that no knockouts was on this card at all, so you didn't really get that pizzazz. But as a UFC casual that never watched the prelims, I know a lot of the main card fighters, but the prelims fighters that I'm still understanding, this was something good to understand, to be honest. So I'm not mad at watching it, but it just wasn't the most exciting thing to watch, I will say. But like the video, subscribe, 5 likes is all I'm asking for. Literally, a count of a hand. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have Stephanie Luciano versus Talita Alencar. Stephanie Luciano, man, this girl right here might be the truth. And this is exactly what the strawweights women division needs. A girl that looks good. She has a good look to her. Brazilians have some good looking girls. That's another conversation for another story. But those Brazilians are top notch. I gotta give credit where it's due. But she has the looks for it. Her attitude on the octagon showed me this girl was smiling while throwing punches and taking a little bit of strikes too. Her striking was clean. Nothing to complain about with this girl. Her English is getting better. Now, I don't know how good her English was before, but it's good enough to get better and evolve to be a superstar. So this girl, she has a spark to her. Let's see what she does with that spark. When it comes to Talita Alencar, I'm very disappointed. She showed absolutely nothing. Her stand-up game was trash. Through not one combination the whole fight, there was nothing I could have said to her that was positive. This girl showed nothing. Stephanie Luciano is what the strawweight women's division need. In our next fight, we have Youssef Zalal versus Geronimo Aarons. Now, this fight right here, I did miss this fight. I had to go ahead, and I did something like, it was so quick. That's how this fight ended quick. Like I forgot what I did. Like it was like the quickest thing ever. And next thing you know, the fight was over. So I missed the finish of the fight, but I know that he won by standing rear naked choke. And one thing that I could appreciate about this fight, even though I missed it, Youssef Zalal had a good call out. He called out Giga Chikadze, Edson Barbosa, Dan Ige. These guys are tough nights out. You just don't wake up in the morning, oh yeah, I'm about to fight Edson Barboza. Oh, I'm about to fight Dan Ige, Giga Chikadze. So I gotta give it to Youssef Zalal for having at least a good call out. A lot of these UFC fighters have one of the most trashish call outs ever. These guys don't even say anything. So Youssef Zalal, just off the call out, I can appreciate him. And he won off in the first round. So these were pretty good call-outs for you to... And the fights made sense, you know? Even though Giga just lost, Danny Ige has a fight coming up. And I think Edson Barbosa is the only guy that's really up out of the dudes he called out. But in the next fight, we have Donna Denise versus Carl Williams. Oh, this was a snooze fest, man. This was an absolute boring fight. Both these fighters showed flashes of nothing. There's literally nothing you could have taken out of this fight. This was a fight that dudes were just staring at each other. Ended up, connecting one little strike that might have changed the trajectory of the fight. But this was a boring fight. Nothing to take out of it. These heavyweights probably will never see the top 10 a day in their lives. And this is not me being disrespectful. This is me being truthful, man. These fighters showed absolutely nothing. Boring. These dudes won't generate a cent for the company. I don't know how long these fighters are in the UFC for on their contract. But this might be their last signing if they don't turn it up a notch. Because, boy, that was a boring fight. Absolutely boring. Alright. We have Cara Rosa versus Penny, whatever you pronounce her name. This fight right here, this Cara Rosa girl, hey, I gotta give credit where it's due, man. This girl right here threw absolutely furious leg kicks. Those leg kicks were spicy. I'm talking about by the time the 4th round hit, she threw about how many? 40 plus leg kicks. I'm talking about those leg kicks were so spicy that this Penny girl could even stand. And I'm quite frankly, by the time she gets home, this girl would not be able to walk at all for a couple weeks. Carl Rosa put a beating on her, gushed her up, had her bleeding, had her confused out here. And this Brazilian girl right here could be something furious to watch. Those leg kicks were like no other. Those were Alex Pereira-esque leg kicks that she got off. The bantamweight division, women's division, have something good with Carl Rosa. Nothing positive I can say about Penny. And that's just what it is, man. Like some of these fighters, man, it'll be some gruesome things that I'll say, but I'm not gonna say it. We have Toshami Kamatsa versus Giragu. Now, guys, this fight right here, Toshami Kamatsa this dude is like a tarantula. The fight started and he instantly took a hold on my boy Giragu. Took a hold of him, and that was the story of the first round. I believe he took his back at that, and he had him in deep waters. Second round came. Giragu emptied a tank out. Gave it all he had. Landed a right hand. Really dazed Kamatsa, and out of nowhere, well, it did empty his gas after he did land that right hook and a fury of those strikes. After that, Kamatsa and Giragu landed it on the floor, and a triangle choke is what ended the fight. One thing I will take out of this is that Kamatsa is very boring on the mic. He's from Japan, but I mean, he could have, had more pizzazz on the mic. This was a pretty good fight. And I'm interested to see what my boy Kamatsa do next and who he ends up fighting next. But if he does see a striker, he's fucked. I will tell you that. We have Yana Santos versus Chelsea Sandler. Didn't really take much out of this fight. This fight was boring. That was on my notes. Santos wins. That's just what it is. Literally. Not much I can say about it. Not much positives I can say about it. That's just what it is. We have Chris Guretes versus Kwang Lee. These last names are absolutely hard to pronounce, guys, by the way. So bear with me, all right? I don't want you guys to say, oh, yeah, you pronounced his name wrong. Bear with me, sons of bitches. Another boring fight. Glanced over it. Nothing happened. These dudes literally stared at each other for 3 rounds straight. I wish I had something positive to say, but literally that's what happened. Both these fighters showed absolutely nothing, and you're in the bantamweight division. I don't know if these fighters are looking for a championship belt, but that's not how you do it. Saint. Danny Berlau versus Vinimikov. This fight right here, a lot of people had this fight finishing under 2.5 rounds. I seen the odds of that. And for a lot of people to say that, this fight did not show that. Oh my gosh. Danny Perlau, this dude is like he fought with the open hand. It's like he was slapping the dude. And all they did was stare at each other for 2.5 rounds straight until my boy Vinimikov came through in round 3 and started piecing him up with some good strikes. Now, in this fight, I didn't think that Danny Berlau won the fight, but there's nothing that Vinimikov did to say that he won the fight. The judges scored it 30-27. It was the only thing that was a little bit confusing to me. Like, how is that 30-27? That was the only thing that I was confused about with that card, with that fight right there. With the co-main event, Stipe Marcin reminds me a lot of Pitbull Cruz. And I gotta give Damon Jackson his credit where credit is due, because it takes 2 to tango in a fight. And Damon Jackson was the underdog in this fight, surprisingly. I thought it would have been the other way around. But it takes 2 to tango for a good brawl. Stipe took a tough head-to-head clash, a tough end of the head-to-head clash with Damon Jackson. Had a cut over his left or right eye. And I thought, oh shoot, this is going to change the whole pace of the fight. But he still kept the same pace of the fight going, and he made it a brawl. Damian Jackson threw beautiful knees in the clinch. Landed a good amount of them, which I thought would have emptied the gas tank off Stipe. I'm not going to lie. I was like, how is Stipe even standing after taking these tough knees to the body? But Stipe still took those knees like a champ. And when the fight ended up on the floor, that's when the whole trajectory of the fight just changed. Damian Jackson was just getting exhausted. You can tell that it was just taking a hold of him, and it was like at a point in the fight, Chipe had him on the backside, but it was like a crucifix style backside. Landed beautiful small strikes that was just connecting to Damian Jackson, and this dude has a jaw because he was taking a lot of strikes that was like, bro, how are you even alive right now? And this was just an absolute war between these two. So I gotta give both dudes credit where credit is due. Wasn't the most technical fight, but this was the best fight besides the main event on the card, literally. And we have the main event, Sergei Spivak versus Tybura. Now this fight right here started off slow. I didn't know who was going to win this fight, to be honest, because I didn't see any of these good dudes fight ever. But once I seen these dudes stood side by side with each other, I knew Spivak was gonna win. Spivak just looked like I don't know if he was fat before this fight, but he just looked like he was just healthy. You know, he just looked like the healthier fighter. And Marcin Tybura didn't start the fight off bad at all. To be honest, besides if the submission didn't happen, I think Tybura could have had a good chance of winning the fight. But the way Sergei Spivak set up that armbar, I can't complain at all, man. This dude right here absolutely shocked me. Now, when I heard the commentary I'm forgetting their name right now. When I heard the commentary of Paul Felder and I don't know, I'm forgetting the English lad's name, but Paul Felder, I didn't think he was going to throw that armbar off. But, surprisingly, Michael Bisping. I don't know why I'm forgetting Michael Bisping's name. I didn't think Michael Bisping, and I didn't think he was going to do it after Michael Bisping called that out. Surprisingly, he pulled it off. And he is going to have a huge payout off that win. I'm curious to see who he fight next. And I think a good fight for him next is Tai Tuivasa. I'm not going to lie. I think Spivak is a tough son of a bee in this league, in this sport, and I'm interested to see what he do. Now, guys, man, this is my UFC review right here. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. It's your boy Fetti MMA, and I'm out.